This podcast contains an English accent that most of our Irish listeners will find offensive. Also, there may be some colourful language that you're going to find less offensive. Now, over to Ryan and Leon. Enjoy the podcast.
You said that I was religious, 'cause I hate Halloween. I thought you read too much into it, but now I see what you mean. Why do I love Philip Larkin? He would have hated me. I think our outlook isn't common, unfortunately, but
See, I was teasing you there because I walked in singing CMAT and you didn't know we were going to listen to a bit of CMAT at the start of the show.
I didn't know you were tricking me into
Tricking you, yeah.
It was a trick and treat. It was a trick and treat.
Philip Larkin mentioned in a CMAT song. Do you know much about Philip Larkin?
Tell me Philip Larkin. Tell me who this is.
We'll talk about him a bit later. But yeah, an English poet from Coventry that died in Hull, spent most of his life as a librarian in Hull. By the way, two of the shittiest places in England, Coventry and Hull. And you'd know him because he wrote that poem. It's called This Is the Verse. It's called This Is the Verse, right? And it goes, they fuck you up, your mum and dad. They don't mean to, but they do. They give you all their bad traits and save a special one just for you. Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah. No.
Never heard of that?
No,
they fuck you up, your mum and dad?
My poetry senses were tingling, though.
It's a good poem, that.
It's a good poem, that, yeah.
And we'll talk about Philip Larkin a bit later on, because there's a poem that I want to share with you called, here's a word that you probably haven't heard before, Aubade. Aubade.
So spell that again.
Aubade.
Aubade.
What do you think that means?
Are you fucking just testing
What do you think it means? No,
I don't fucking
listen,
know.
I'm not here to trick you.
You're like...
It means a morning song, apparently.
A morning song. Unfortunately, my lexicon doesn't really, revolve around morning songs that much.
Sorry, I had to Google it. I don't fucking know. I don't know what it meant.
People that use Aubade in a sentence are probably, up their own arses
nice
a little
word,
bit.
isn't it? Aubade.
Aubade.
No, but it's nice to hear poetry in popular culture. What was that song that we talked about last year with Taylor Swift? Talking about Dylan Thomas.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that one? Chelsea Hotel. This ain't the Chelsea Hotel.
People are, like songwriters read poetry and a lot of songwriters are poets.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that they would be aware of different poets and poetic works, I suppose. So, but CMAT is fucking brilliant. And you can tell by CMAT's songwriting and the lyricism that's in the songs. It's just fucking brilliant.
Yeah, that Jamie Oliver petrol station, we were singing it before we came on.
Oh, yeah.
What was that? And then I look at the New York skyline, the West Cork of the Yankee
Eyeline.
The West Cork of the Yankee Eyeline. There's so much in that. Because everyone wanks over West Cork, don't they? You know what I mean?
They love a bit of West Cork.
Everyone loves it,
West
don't they?
Cork.
Have you been to West Cork?
Oh yeah, well they love a little bit of that now, I have to say. But CMAT, yeah, she I was just only saying to you there off mic that for Euro Country, she filmed it in Santry in the Omni, and that's a big shopping centre there, and didn't close the shopping centre, so she's dancing in the middle of a fucking fountain, and there's an Elwyn just standing there going wah, wah. And she has her fucking granny trolley, she's doing a few messages, picking up a few perishables, and she's like wah. Who's this red-haired one kicking water in the... Do you know people make wishes in there? People are throwing money in there, man, robbing people's wishes. She is
Get
kicking
out of
them
it.
around. Yeah, kicking people's fucking wishes left, right and centre. She was, wah! You know what I mean?
Oh, well, you know what? It's good that we listen to CMAT, because today... It's a men, lots of
manly men.
What was I thinking about? Oh God, that's why. When you're in a YouTube rabbit hole, I ended up watching 10 minutes today of Joe Rogan talking to Charlie Sheen.
I wonder how that went.
In the aftermath of Charlie Kirk's assassination. No,
So
it's just not great, is it?
Charlie Sheen is doing podcasts again, is he?
Charlie Sheen, I think he's promoting a new Netflix documentary all about him, which is apparently shite.
Right.
Where he doesn't really... Think about it. he's not a very remorseful fella, is he? Like the things he's done.
Do you remember he was
isn't
addicted to crack?
Yeah, no, that you remember he was. Yeah, all those
Do you remember he
viral
was like,
videos,
I
it was-
sweat tiger blood? And
Yeah,
like,
there was a
all
month.
this- he made himself a
6
meme.
months in our life where everyone's talking about how mental Charlie Sheen was.
Yeah, like he was in 2.5 Men and he was doing well, and like that was a fairly successful show, and then like he just started riding hookers and doing crack. Then he had, I think he's HIV now as well, and
Oh God!
like
okay.
then he was
Fuck
like,
me.
I think then at one point he obviously wasn't getting like picked up in like any sort of acting roles because of the crack, and
The crack.
then he was having
not
the crack. He was having just crack.
Having the crack.
With CRACK,
Yeah.
and then he was like, he was charging people like $200 to leave voice messages on their friends' answering machines. So, say for instance, if it was Ryan's birthday, I could ring crack-riddled Charlie Sheen to leave a voice note of you saying happy birthday. I'd go to Talbot Street and have a 20 quid. save him a few quid, like.
It's only down the road.
I'm sure you'll find a Charlie Sheen down there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Charlie
That's so
O'Sheen.
funny. That's so funny. We'll. Do you want to hear my theory at the moment about men listening to men? Right, so
okay.
here's my theory, right? So look, I think, and this is going to stand me in good stead for the duration of the rest of my life. I'm listening to women's advice, and I'm listening to men's stories, because I think the only way a man can now advise me is if they've got like a tale or a story or something that's happened to him. I think I'm over the world of listening to direct advice from men, where I think women have probably gone through enough stories now, and it's about time. You know what I mean? Like they've gone through the kind of things that you need to do to warrant being listened to when it comes to advice.
Where
Men,
every man has an opinion.
they've gone the other way. So unless you've got a story, and that's why we listen to poetry men, because they're usually stories.
Yeah.
But that's me rule now. That's me rule.
You're not going to take any advice from any man.
No. Unless it comes with a tale, a story, an anecdote,
So it
a
has to be a
flashback of time, a historical, well, something's happened to him. Yeah, sure. Yeah, give us what happened to you.
So hang on, I'm trying to wrap my head around this now. So say for instance, if someone was like, you asked a man, where will I get a good pint?
Yeah.
And he didn't have a story. He just went, there's good.
Yeah, if you don't tell me if you've been before, or give me a time that you had a great time there, like I'm not listening to you. Where if a woman says, that place, okay, thanks for that.
Women have instinct.
Yeah.
They have instinct.
They've also got stories.
Men have just...
Nonsense bollocks. And lies as well. So no, it's over.
Only a few white lies, nothing serious, like nothing bad.
Like, where's a good place to have a pint?
No man has ever lied that much, ever. That's how Leon cancelled himself. In one sentence.
But we're going to listen to some stories from men, including Ernest Hemingway and including poetry from Philip Larkin. But let's start off with one of my favourite Dublin men, an Orthodox Kulak.
Oh yeah,
Craig Doyle.
Oh, Craigie baby.
And what's the connection between? So we were at EP and we were at For Those I Love.
Yeah.
Which we're going to go and see.
We were all, yep, we are indeed, yeah. Ticket spot.
Poetry pilgrimage. Was Craig friends with Dave?
Yeah, so Craig and Dave went to school with Paul Curran, and Dave's first album is all about Paul, who died in 2018. Yeah, so they were all friends in school, and were all obviously interested in poetry, and then it kind of. Craig was already writing poetry, I believe, at the time, but like Craig's he went on tour with the Murder Capital, like went all over amazing. Like fucking Ireland and Britain, was opening up for them. He opened up for them in Vicar Street, did a couple of poems. Then he was like, I remember Craig did during COVID, it was like a Paddy's Day special by Jemison, and Craig was just like the MC. It was like a remote thing though. It was like the guests were performing live in like a space somewhere.
Okay, cool.
Like they'd Kojak and they had like other artists.
Love Kojak.
Yeah.
Where's Kojak?
Where is he?
Yeah,
he's in Cabra somewhere.
For a few years.
I don't know. He's in Cabra somewhere, drinking cans probably. But I saw that he was doing saunas. That's probably what he's doing, drinking cans in the sauna, being quiet. But Craig was like the MC, so they had like rehearsed, or like they'd filmed Craig on like Sandymount Beach, in a pub somewhere else, And he was like introducing the next poet or the next performer, but he was also doing a few poems in the middle. It was
Love that.
mad. But then like Craig just kind of took a bit off, like a bit of time. He did a master's, I think, and was writing a lot. And then he's kind of been doing poetry again, bits and bobs here over the last year and so.
We've heard from him though, haven't we? So maybe we'll listen to what Craig sent us.
Yeah, we'll have a listen now.
As I light the last smoke of what will be the 5th last time before quitting, I ease the door ajar behind me and lean on the bar of my tight squeeze of a so-called balcony, perched above the sun-soaked dripping red brick of the old Richmond. The long stretch drenching the stones of this city, whose steeples poke and jut out of the concrete. The eye traces the crevices in the parade of cranes to Liberty Hall and her new sister to the south. The stacks in their striped pyjamas stand proud at the sea gates as plumes of smoke billow from the furnace beneath. I'm pulled back to Smithfield and its square of cobble lock. You still hear the clip-clop of yesteryear echo through the streets from the lads on Arbour Hill. The Dublin and Wicklow mountains bathe majestically in the distance. The smell of hops on the night's breath makes me want to point, and so I flick the joint, and when I heard the doink on the top of the bike sheds, I have to stop and take breath. I'm doing that thing I used to know. Realise I'm thinking with a steady flow, and I burst in search of pen and pad so I can jot down the thoughts I've just had. It's funny when the inspiration hits. Me and my plans call it quits because me and my head are at it again. And then the bubble bursts. The flames are gone. Until next time, my friend.
That was Craig Doyle with The Last Smoke.
Well, Craigie Baby didn't. We couldn't find a title, so we've titled it The Last Smoke. But it's fucking brilliant. He's a natural storyteller. You know, you can see all those images.
Oh, you know, I was in Smithfield's cobblestones there with the horses that were clickety-clacking through. Even though he didn't even say anything about horses, like he puts you into the story.
Yeah.
That first line we reread about 4 times there. But as I.
Do you want me to read it for you?
Yeah, read it for me again. It was just class.
So,
as I breathed the last... Let's read it again.
Give it a second. As I light the last smoke of what will be the 5th last time before quitting.
Yeah, it's just brilliant. It reminds me of the first lines of, I think it's Casino Royale. I've told you this before, but it goes... James Bond's favourite drink of the day was the drink he had in his head before the first drink of the day. Isn't that good?
Yeah.
Isn't that great? And isn't it on the money?
Oh yeah,
the dreams of...
You're thinking of that pint or whatever. Oh, yeah, that's... I love the old good use of word play. That gets my blood going.
Yeah, and if you get a chance to see Craig, I know like he's if you're in Dublin, you know, and if you have the pleasure of seeing him, it's an incredible experience to see him live. But he's, like you said, he's here and he's there and he's everywhere.
He flitters about. Sometimes he does a burst of gigs, and then sometimes he won't, and then he'll come back and he'll do whatever. He's always writing, but gigging wise, he kind of just comes and goes. But when he comes back, it's like he's never gone. You know?
Very talented man. Very talented man.
Very good.
Earlier on, we were talking about Philip Larkin.
Yes,
right. And
who I know very well.
You're very clued up on.
I'm dialed in with.
I think I've got a bit of a lineage between CMAT and Philip Larkin. And I think it goes something like Philip Larkin, Pam Ayres, Morrissey, Noel Gallagher, Danny Boyle, Mike Skinner, and CMAT. Like that kind of. They're all storytellers of kind of shite places, or like the grimness of the day.
Yeah.
And like turning tips into art, essentially. I think CMAT does that really well. Like most of the songs are turning shit tips into art.
It's like Irving Welsh as well.
Sorry, Irving Welsh. Well, kind of Danny Boyle directed Trainspotting. So sorry, Irving Welsh is definitely in there. But like Irving Welsh, like he's so good at taking, and I think Irving Welsh and Ernest Hemingway have the same talents for showing the man up to the mirror.
Yeah,
like putting the mirror up to the man, going like, "This is you."
An honest
This
reflection.
is your shite. This is what you're capable of doing.
Yeah.
Do you
You're
know what I
a
mean? Like,
fucking pig.
there's not the distance you'd expect from reading Trainspotting that you think there would be. Like I went into reading Trainspotting going like, I'm just going to read a load of fucking knackers here on the street, like, and then actually you kind of read and go like, I could get that, I can see that happening, 100%. And then when we both have been reading Ernest Hemingway recently, and again, we're not fucking game hunters by any stretch of the imagination, or even that fucking masculine. Let's be fucking real.
Yeah.
But seeing the men in his work, I also understand. I get it. I'm like, I can see why you would do that.
But like the whole thing behind Hemingway apparently is that his mother wanted a girl.
Yeah, we said that. Yeah, we said that. Yeah,
dressing up.
fucking
But like
mad.
he's like hyper masculine. But even some passages that you read and you're like, it was such a different era. Like so, he was obviously going off. A Movable Feast is great. It's about him as an old man reflecting of his younger time when he's like mid-20s, living in Paris. But he's with his wife. He has a son, and the son is like, say, 6 months old.
Right.
And the wife, so he'd go off and write in a cafe or wherever he could find somewhere quiet, and he'd spend a couple of hours writing, working on his pieces, his manuscripts. And his wife would like, they didn't have any money for the childminder, so they bought a cat, and the cat used to mind the baby while the mother went down to play piano in the cafe.
That's just.
And he
What
just
do you say about that?
And he just like, it was grand because if anybody came into the room, the cat would be straight away like, "What are you doing?" Like, being real protective of the baby. And then the mother would go up every so often and feed the baby, and then go back down and play the piano.
What are you saying?
That's fucking mental.
What?
That's fucking mental.
That's a different world.
Imagine.
I don't even know what to say about that. That's fucking insane.
Like nowadays, people like nearly bring their babies into the bathroom with them because they're afraid to leave them out of their sight. Like,
monitors. Watching them all night.
It's just, and they're like, I just leave the baby up there. I'll go down about an hour or two, play the fucking piano. Cat will mind them. Grand.
You're going to read a short story from Ernest Hemingway later on, but this is a poem, right? And I really like. Well, it's one of his most famous poems. It's called Aubade. Mentioned that earlier on, and it's. I like the way he was a librarian all of his life, right? And
this is Phil Larkin.
Philip Larkin, sorry, this is Philip Larkin, and he's very good at facing a very melancholic person, like, but not in a dark way. Like he'll start poetry with like the worst thing that could happen, but then take you on a journey of you discovering that actually, like if you are present in life and you are kind of paying attention to what's around you, there's a lot of beauty, even though there's horror that's facing you. That, like, this poem here is really, it's him waking up in the morning and realising he's gonna fucking die, and then talking himself out into something that's quite inspiring.
Right. So he's like fatalising.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's doing. Yeah.
He fatalises and then he kind of talks sense to himself for being so fatalistic.
Yeah.
Oh.
You'll enjoy this, I think.
I think so.
This is a poem by Philip Larkin, and it's called Aubade. I work all day and get half drunk at night. Walking at 4, to soundless dark I stare. In time the curtain edges will grow light. Till then I see what's really always there. Unresting death. A whole day nearer now. Making all thought impossible, but how and where and when I shall myself die. Arid interrogation, yet the dread of dying and being dead flashes afresh to hold and horrify. The mind blanks at the glare, not in remorse, the good not done, the love not given, time torn off unused, nor wretchedly because an only life can take so long to climb clear of its wrong beginnings, and may never, but of the total emptiness forever, the sure extinction that we travel to and shall be lost in always, not to be here, not to be anywhere, and soon, nothing more terrible, nothing more true. This is a special way of being afraid. No trick dispels. Religion used to try, that vast moth-eaten musical brocade created to pretend we never die. And specious stuff that says no rational being can fear a thing it will not feel, not seeing, that this is what we fear. No sight, no sound, no touch or taste or smell, nothing to think with, nothing to love or link with, the anaesthetic from which none come round. And so it stays just on the edge of vision, a small, unfocused blur, a standing chill that slows each impulse down to indecision. Most things may never happen. This one will. And realisation of it rages out in furnace fear when we are caught without people or drink. Courage is no good. It means not scaring others. Being brave lets no one off the grave. Death is no different, whined at, than withstood. Slowly, light strengthens, and the room takes shape. It stands plain as a wardrobe, what we know, have always known, know that we can't escape, yet can't accept. One side will have to go. Meanwhile, telephones crouch, getting ready to ring, in locked up offices, and all the uncaring, intricate, rented world begins to rouse. The sky is white as clay, with no sun. Work has to be done. Postmen, like doctors, go from house to house.
That was Aubade by Philip Larkin.
How do you feel now after listening to that? I'll tell you how I feel after reading it.
There's a lot to unpack in that.
Mm.
It's like, what struck me was the part about religion. And it's like the great lie that people will live forever.
Mm.
And people trusted in that lie because they're so afraid of death. And then just the kind of monotony of like postmen, like doctors just going from house to house.
Yeah, life carries on no matter
no
matter how much you fear in your own house, your own mortality. Someone else is dropping off a HelloFresh order. You know.
You should just get the ride and shut up. Life goes on.
But look, we're laughing. Do you know what I mean? And like that poem starts so dark.
Yeah.
And it couldn't start more dark.
Well, it's like, I think people obviously your subjective experience is, you know, all you know, but you worry about you, but you were such a, what did they say? We talked about it a couple of weeks ago, the speck of dust.
Mm. Oh yeah.
All you are is a speck of dust in the grand scheme of things.
That was Sylvia Plath.
So like once you go, that was the excerpt, from the book you were reading.
From the Bell Jar.
From the Bell Jar. And like if you think about it, it's like you've obviously, because all we know is us and our subjective experience, and to us we're very important because it's all we know. But in the grand scheme of things, we're just dust flickering through space, and life will go on when we're gone.
Mm. I think there's something really comforting in that piece.
Mm.
And I don't know whether it stops the kind of, I don't know, the kind of hero's journey nonsense that we all kind of live at, where there's a beginning, middle and end, and like, we're always fighting to the end to like reach the pinnacle of whatever we're trying to do, and it just brings you down to earth and says, no, you'll die. So
enjoy yourself.
So it's like that, isn't it? It's like, so
enjoy yourself, but
we've got plenty of time to not do that.
Yeah. Why would you spend the entire, you've got such a small part of existence being here, it's so limited, why would you spend that worrying about how limited it is, and just fucking enjoy it, Yeah. Do you want to hear my theory of death and reincarnation?
Yeah.
So,
oh God, here we go.
This is where we're getting deep. So I wouldn't be very religious. I was raised very religious by my granny, but then I kind of stepped away from it as I got older. I just kind of didn't really, it's not really for me. So the way I see it is that we are composed of atoms, right? The whole universe is composed of atoms. Atoms are never created or destroyed. They always exist. And a human being is a compressed version of matter, which is atoms. The atoms from space come together and they form a solid person, which is you. And when you die, they disperse back into the atmosphere. So all you are is a collection of atoms coming together and going away. And then the next person is a collection of coming of atoms and going away. So we're always compressing and decompressing. We're always in movement. So it's like even when you die, you don't really disappear. You just go back into the ether and then you come back in a different form. So that's why like reincarnation probably is true in a sense, because if only there's a limited amount of atoms in the universe and they're coming together and coming apart, probably they've just been recycled a few times. That's my theory of everything. Thanks for listening.
That's why I'm not listening to men anymore.
And that's why you should well, there's a story to it.
There was a story to it.
And that's why they're going to hand me the Nobel Prize for scientific reasoning.
Yeah.
You know? First pose.
I'll be there.
You should, yeah. You'll be in
I'll
first
be
row.
there first row.
Yeah. You should, yeah. We'll get you a car sent to you or something. Yeah. You don't take any of my voice though unless I tell a witty joke or a story.
Yeah, it has to come from some kind of personal story.
I'll start writing my speech
as
soon as we're finished.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was reading, only because you told me you were reading, because I'm a sheep. Ernest Hemingway. I'd read The Sun Always Rises, and I've read The Old Man and the Sea as well, and I picked up this short story collection called Men Without Women, and there is a fucking story in that, right? And this is the perfect short piece where you are staring yourself back.
Yeah.
And I'm not like, listen, I'm not saying that I or you have been in this situation that you're going to read now, but it's very understandable because we know the temperament of men and the flippancy of men and the kind of selfishness as well of men. I think all things are pretty fair to say.
Yeah.
And this is a story of two people. You know what? I'm not going to explain it. Just read it, man.
Yeah. What does it say? The Nietzsche quote is, "Do not stare too long into the abyss, for the abyss will stare into you." That's my prayer. Anyway. This is me cold read. I've never actually heard of this collection, never mind the story, and I'm going to really enjoy it. It's called Hills Like White Elephants by Papa Ernest Hemingway. That was his nickname, Ernest Hemingway. The hills across the valley of the Ebro were long and white. On this side there was no shade and no trees, and the station was between two lines of rails in the sun. Close against the side of the station there was the warm shadow of the building and a curtain, made of strings of bamboo beads, hung across the open door into the bar to keep out flies. The American and the girl with him sat at a table in the shade outside the building. It was very hot, and the express from Barcelona would come in 40 minutes. It stopped at this junction for 2 minutes and went on to Madrid. "What should we drink?" the girl asked. She had taken off her hat, put it on the table. "It's pretty hot," the man said. "Let's drink beer." "Dos cervezas," the man said into the curtain. "Big ones?" a woman asked from the doorway. "Yes, 2 big ones." The woman brought 2 glasses of beer and 2 felt pads. She put the felt pads and the beer glasses on the table and looked at the man and the girl. The girl was looking off at the line of hills. They were white in the sun and the country was brown and dry. "They look like white elephants," she said. "I've never seen one." The man drank his beer. "No, you wouldn't have." "I might have," the man said. "Just because you say I wouldn't have doesn't mean anything." The girl looked at the bead curtain. "They've painted something on it," she said. "What does it say?" "Anis del Toro. It's a drink." "Could we try it?" The man called, "Listen," through the curtain. The woman came out from the bar. 4 reals. "You want 2 Anis del Toro? With water." "Do you want it with water?" "I don't know," the girl said. "Is it good with water?" "It's all right." "You want them with water?" asked the woman. "Yes, with water." "It tastes like licorice," the girl said, and put the glass down. "That's the way with everything." "Yes," said the girl. "Everything tastes like licorice. Especially all the things you've waited so long for, like absinthe." "Oh, cut it out." "You started it," the girl said. "I was being amused. I was having a fine time." "Well, let's try and have a fine time." "All right." I was trying. I said the mountains looked like white elephants. Wasn't that bright? That was bright. I wanted to try this new drink. That's all we do, isn't it? Look at things and try new drinks. I guess so. The girl looked across at the hills. "They're lovely hills," she said. "They don't look like white elephants. I just meant the colouring of their skin through the trees. Should we have another drink?" "All right." The warm wind blew the bead curtain against the table. The beer's nice and cool, the man said. It's lovely, said the girl. It's really an awfully simple operation, Jig, the man said. It's not really an operation at all. The girl looked at the ground the table legs rested on. I know you wouldn't mind it, Jig. It's really not anything. It's just to let the air in. The girl did not say anything. I'll go with you, and I'll stay with you all the time. They just let the air in, and then it's all perfectly natural. Then what will we do afterward? We'll be fine afterward. Just like we were before. What makes you think so? That's the only thing that bothers us. It's the only thing that's made us unhappy. The girl looked at the bead curtain, put her hand out and took hold of 2 of the strings of beads. And you think then we'll be all right and be happy? I know we will. You don't have to be afraid. I've known lots of people that have done it. So have I, said the girl. And afterward they were all so happy. Well, the man said, if you don't want to, don't have to. If you don't want to, you don't have to. I wouldn't have you do it if you didn't really want to. But I know it's perfectly simple. And you really want to. I think it's the best thing to do. But I don't want you to do it if you don't really want to. And if I do, you'll be happy and things will be like they were and you'll love me. I love you now. You know I love you. I know, but if I do it, then it'll be nice again if I say things are like white elephants and you'll like it. I love it. I love it now, but I just can't think about it. You know how I get when I worry. If I do it, you won't ever worry. I won't worry about that because it's perfectly simple. Then I'll do it because I don't care about me. What do you mean? I don't care about me. Well, I care about you. Oh yes, but I don't care about me. And I'll do it, and then everything will be fine. I don't want you to do it if you feel that way. The girl stood up and walked to the end of the station. Across on the other side were fields of grain and trees along the banks of the Ebro. Far away beyond the river were mountains. The shadow of a cloud moved across the field of grain, and she saw the river through the trees. And if we could have all this, she said, and we could have everything, and every day we make it more impossible. What did you say? I said we could have everything. We can have everything. No, we can't. We can have the whole world. No, we can't. We can go everywhere. No, we can't. It isn't ours anymore. It's ours. No, it isn't. And once they take it away, you never get it back. But they haven't taken it away. We'll wait and see. Come on back in the shade, he said. You mustn't feel that way. I don't feel any way, she said. I just know things. I don't want you to do anything that you don't want to do. No, that isn't good for me, she said. I know. Could we have another beer? All right. But you've got to realise. I realise, the girl said. Can we maybe stop talking? They sat down at the table and the girl looked across at the hills on the dry side of the valley and the man looked at her and at the table. You've got to realise, he said, that I don't want you to do it if you don't want to. I'm perfectly willing to go through with it if it means anything to you. Doesn't it mean anything to you? We could get along. Of course it does. But I don't want anybody but you. I don't want anyone else. And I know it's perfectly simple, yes. You know it's perfectly simple. It's all right for you to say that, but I do know it. Would you do something for me now? I'd do anything for you. Would you please, 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 please stop talking? He did not say anything, but looked at the bags against the wall of the station. There were labels on them from all the hotels where they had spent nights. But I don't want you to, he said. I don't care anything about it. I'll scream, the girl said. The woman came out through the curtains with 2 glasses of beer and put them down on the damp felt pads. The train comes in 5 minutes, she said. What did she say? Asked the girl. That the train is coming in 5 minutes. The girl smiled brightly at the woman to thank her. I better take the bags over to the other side of the station, the man said. She smiled at him. All right. Then come back and we'll finish the beer. He picked up the 2 heavy bags and carried them around the station to the other tracks. Coming back, he walked through the bar room where people waiting for the train were drinking. He drank an anise at the bar and looked at the people. They were all waiting reasonably for the train. He went out through the bead curtain. She was sitting at the table and smiled at him. "Do you feel better?" he asked. "I feel fine," she said. "There's nothing wrong with me. I feel fine."
That was Hills Like White Elephants from Ernest Hemingway, read out beautifully, I might add, by Leon Dunn. Fuck's sake, yeah. Listen, when you read something, it's powerful. But like, as soon as I read it, I was like, I'm gonna get you to read this out, and we're both gonna have a bit of a fucking moment there. And we talked about this kind of off air, and I'll share this with you. It just makes you think of all of the fucking fights and arguments that you have with your partner when you were younger. But listen, all men have the capacity to argue, but it's usually when you're not capable to communicate, you can't articulate your feelings very well, and it's just full of anger.
Men are bastards.
I think.
And men like to win. That's the thing. We like to win. We like to conquer. And there's like a ape brain there that you're having an argument and for no fucking reason, and you're like, I'm gonna win this argument because I want to. And like, it takes a second of when you and like that when he walks away and he has a drink by himself and he comes back and he's settled himself. When you take yourself out of that kind of mindset, you're like, okay, I was kind of a bit of an arsehole there, wasn't I? Like, for no reason. And then you're like, look, I'm sorry for the way I was. It obviously, there's some capacity. There's some...
We can't... but when we can't listen back... This is why stories like this, I think, are important, because we can't ever listen back to our own arguments. And I'd hate to do that.
Yeah.
I would hate to sit in a room and have someone like you read out all of the awful arguments I've had in my life.
But because
none of them I'm not going to come across well in any of them. and that's just me being honest.
Yeah.
And you grow and you learn, and like, I've been surrounded by women in my entire life. Do you know what I mean? Really sound women at school, friends. My mom is my best mate, and still it took me a long time to stop this fighting. Fighting for nonsense, like university fights, man, like over fuck all. And I think the interesting about the abortion is interesting, I don't know, we'll talk about it, but like, that's coming from a place where he doesn't like her. It's obviously quite clear. He's dating someone he doesn't like, and he's impregnated a woman that he doesn't want to be with forever. So she's standing there knowing that, like, she's got no place in this man's future, and he's going, this is going to ruin my life vision of what you've done. And that's something that that's a horrific starting point of a dialogue. Horrible.
Yeah, and like, he was writing that, like, that's just after the Fiesta, isn't it? With the,
when was this written? I reckon 60s maybe.
Sun Also Rises, isn't it? So like, because he wrote his first novel he wrote in like the 20s, 30s.
Sorry, he died in 61. So
he died in 61.
This couldn't have been the 60s.
I think if that was after his first novel, that'd be about around the 30s. But like, that's such a
28, 1928.
He
1928.
But I think about, like,
It's resonating.
It's such an honest portrayal of like, that situation that happens now.
Yeah,
and still happens. Obviously, to different degrees. Not every man is trying to get there. Something of that extreme. No one's trying to force that. But like, men will always be moody bastards and try win arguments and try, but that's such, like, for 1928, like, you wouldn't think that you'd see a piece that was so honest like that. No. You definitely wouldn't see it in Ireland, but like, in the world at that time, because it was so guarded, you wouldn't talk about, like, things with your wife. Like, even like, say in that time, we even with that conversation with James Morrissey last week, and he said, like, in the time when he was a boy, if a man and a woman divorced, the man got all the property.
So what you're saying is like stories like this, you wouldn't have expected to even be warranted the value, or have
They wouldn't have
written.
talked. They wouldn't have been talked about, because then they would have pointed out that men like are to blame. They don't want men to be cast in a bad light. That's what I mean. It's like that's showing the dark side of male thinking, and what can be that forceful nature of I don't want this, therefore you don't want this, and she's submitting to his will.
Yeah.
But like for at that time, you wouldn't, like, men were up on a pedestal that has, I'd like to think, has been brought down a few notches to an equal playing level, you know, to the best that we can be.
Yeah.
And they, like, when the men were on the pedestal, nothing could, the sun shine out of their arse. They were fools, and there was drunks, and there was bad men, but that's just an ordinary man. That's not a criminal. That's not a killer or a bad, you know, like in characters they'd be written as a villain. He's not written as a villain, he's just written as a bit of an arsehole. It's a very honest and human kind of portrayal of what the dark side of being a man is, and
the kind of the manipulation to turn the woman from the person that like is submissive at the end of an argument to the one that's saying, no, we can do it all, we can have everything, because she's been manipulated to be crushed, and then now the only option is
she's
to
reinforcing.
rise. No, and then she's rising, and he's kind of sat like he's talking with like his tail between his, oh, sorry, I shouldn't have. No, we can't do that. We can't. She's like, no, we can. It's like that. It's the kind of crushing and rise of the way that men can manipulate arguments and like gaslight people.
Oh, 100%.
Like gaslighting, man. For fuck's sake, like. Like, that's not fake news. Like, that's a real thing.
That's a real
people
thing.
do. Have you ever seen it?
Oh yeah.
Oh my god! You see someone being gaslit, or what the fuck is that? I mean, Married at First Sight UK starts next week, so there's going to be a lot of that going on. But even like, I mean, even happened at EP, happened at Electric Picnic, man. Behind my tent, there was a couple putting up a tent. And they were really struggling. I don't know if you saw this couple, but they were having a fucking nightmare. And the man was getting absolutely furious, and he had the hammer. He's like, I know what I'm doing. And she was being really nice. Like, no, you check the instructions. Like, I've put this up before. And I was like, fuck me. And then he starts going at her like, you put that wrong there. I saw you put that up. And you're like, lads,
how fragile is your ego?
Your
man?
ego.
Yeah.
With a hammer in your hand.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you?
Yeah, there's a fragile ego. That's a common thing for a lot of men.
Yes.
You know, people that need their ego challenged on a daily basis, but once it's kind of like putting up a tent is like, that's a masculine thing. I'm going to put up a tent, and if you can't do it and your missus is there telling you to read the instructions, like, but standing there with a hammer in your hand is a fucking horrible thing. You know, obviously he probably didn't. Why am I defending this person? I don't know what I'm doing. Like, what am I rationalising this argument for? He was being a cunt. Sorry, there you go.
A total cunt. Wow. But yeah, like we said earlier, I'm listening to male stories, not particularly male advice.
But well, you're dead right. But the thing is, what I love, and I've read a lot of Hemingway this year. I've read For Whom the Bell Tolls as well, and I read A Movable Feast, the collection of short stories of him. Well, not short stories, of him living in Paris. But like, it was actually Mikey Cullen explained this to me. He goes, Hemingway uses the iceberg technique. So the iceberg technique,
I've never heard of this.
I hadn't heard this until El Mihal Cullen said this to me now. He said that the iceberg technique is, Hemingway's writing is, he's only showing you the tip of the iceberg. And the other, an iceberg is, the tip is only the smallest part, and there's actually a massive thing underneath the water. He's showing you the tip, and the rest, your mind, your imagination makes up the rest.
Simple sentences, simple sentence structure.
He's not giving you that much.
No, he's not giving you much.
He's giving you a piece of something, and you're putting the rest of it together. And then your interpretation is in the writing. How you perceive that writing is what makes his writing so amazing, because he's like, you figure it out. Here you go. Here's a scene. Here's the bare minimum. Your imagination will do the rest.
Here's the strip back. This is the cliff notes of what you need to know. Figure it out. Fucking hell, mad.
Yeah.
I have another poem from a man. If you're interested.
We've been defending. We've been calling men bastards for the last while. So
yeah, well, this isn't from a bastard man. It's actually from a very talented man. So I was at the Lucan Drama Society's open mic 2 weeks ago. I did a rendition of Do Not Go Gently Into That Good Night on stage. It was fucking beautiful.
You're wearing a blazer as well.
Yeah, wearing a blazer. I love doing it.
You're already campaigning.
I really enjoyed it.
You're already campaigning for the mayor of Lucan. You're going to be the.
Well, I was in the Liffey champion.
See, this is the
I've
first.
been in the Lucan newsletter.
Global domination of Lucan.
I'm on the way. Yeah, just off Lucan.
Just of Lucan.
Graham Donlon performed this piece on stage. He's part of the Drama Society and he's written a couple of plays as well. And this piece, and again, we're talking about the kind of getting art from the mundane earlier on with Philip Larkin and CMAT. Like this is that, and it's talking about the Doyle queue. A place that I know a little bit of. I don't know if
As do I.
As do you.
As do you. As an artist in Ireland, as do I.
This poem is called A Plastic Floor Tile 1.25 metres from the post office counter. I am the postmistress, opening up for the day. I am a teenager applying to art college, gripping my application tightly. I am an old woman who has recently wet herself and needs to withdraw money so she can buy her washing powder. I am a tired mother, wanting this queue to move quicker so I can just get home. I am a lonely old man who just wants someone to talk to. I am a mother putting €20 away for Christmas. I am a ponce who thinks all of this could be done online. I'm a middle-aged man who comes here at least once a week to glimpse the beauty behind the glass, hoping she's wearing that yellow jumper. I'm a child running in a circle. I am a child running in a circle. I am a child running in a circle. I am a child on the floor crying. I am a mother putting €50 away for her escape fund. I am a fat, sweaty man who can't run but thinks he could rob this place. I am an impatient woman who is too good for this place and shouldn't have to use her fucking lunch hour to clear up her husband's mistake. I am two people, standing facing each other, talking, half jostling about who will get served first. I am two people, standing, facing the same direction, not talking but mourning, posting an important letter. I am a young man, closing his account and changing his money to New Zealand dollars. I am a writer, collecting the only thing that keeps my lights on at home. I am a man, withdrawing money from his child's university money. I am a man, withdrawing his child's university fund, asking about student loans. I am parents closing their child's account quietly. I am the postmistress, closing up for the night, walking home.
That was A Plastic Floor Tile 1.25 metres from the post office counter by Graham Donlon.
The bit about the man robbing the kids' fund, again.
Even like,
mirror,
but like the part where it's like the fat sweaty man who thinks I could rob this place, like that's such a that's
the
a man,
lies,
such
the
a
fallacy.
But it's such a man think. It's like I could fucking take everyone in this room.
Like, have him.
I'm not going. Yeah, it's like I'm the fucking biggest person. I could easily do this. And you're like, no, you couldn't. That old woman there knows jiu-jitsu. She's gonna strangle you. What are you talking about?
Fuck's sake.
There's
You
just
know, some not like sometimes like in the summer. This sounds a bit posh, but it's not. In the summer, I play tennis, and I've been doing it for fucking years. I only play like for every 8 weeks of the summer, and every time I go and play, I look around and go like, if I actually fancied this, I'd fucking beat the lot of you. And I deep down believe it.
It's over for you,
deep down,
bitches.
I believe I was like, you're lucky I'm not training 3 times where you can give a fuck enough to beat you. Because if I did, I'd be on that bloody wall of competition winners.
You'd be next Serena
but
Williams.
I can't be arsed. So I'm just going to come every summer and play with the one friend I play with every week, Kean Ward. And sometimes I'll win, sometimes he'll win. But I'll go, you know what? If I actually fancied it, you'd be fucked.
You're keeping yourself humble.
And I believe it.
And you believe
That's the mentalist thing. I actually believe it.
Because I fucking can. Because I fucking can.
Because I'm a man and I can.
I'm like Serena Williams, the man version. Do you know what I mean? Even better. Be her. Be her in the
I'll
league.
be her. Give me a year.
Just 3 fucking times a
But
week.
I believe it because I'm mental.
Because I have testicles, that's why. They make your brain go mental.
Should we listen to some female music to wrap up the show?
I need a fucking bath.
I need a woman here. So yeah, this is the music of Eve, who will be joining us at Culture Night this Friday.
All Things Eve.
All Things Eve.
Fabulous.
This is a track called June Moon. Leon, thanks for your time.
Always a pleasure, never to chaw around. Bye.
See you next week.
Mwah.
He was born in a June moon, heart always open, and my mama loved him. She found him soft-spoken. He's done me